to be like top contenders, but everyone knew that I think the players on these rosters are good, and that they're probably going to make some kind of league. And now here they are meeting up in the final match of Launchpad to do just that. So this is going to be an exciting one for sure. We see the Rune coming on out, the Dubu and the Asher for, I need to pull the thing back up, for handless dogs here on a perfect form start. So this is going to be pretty solid. I mean, Rune always been a bipolar character depending on who is piloting him, but this is Mr. Flambeau's Rune, so I imagine it could go pretty well for them.
Yeah, and this is extra important too because it's the last chance to get into Tier 1 or Tier 2, right? Of course, there's the Nasty LCQ, but NASA and NASL, if you have the dreams that are like in the stratosphere, like this is your last chance to even have a shot.
Absolutely, and both barriers down here for the side of handless dogs pretty quick. Asianator will lose one from the push-up, but all is good. A nice clean pass there to Swaghaver, who finds a kind of that's a difficult shot to see, and Swaghaver found it right out in the top corner there. So Dynasty Party starting off looking pretty good there.
Yeah, and they're on comfort. Swaghaver and Asianator have performed very well in the previous game, but that's a double barrier, and suddenly the handless dogs, they're looking pretty good here. They combo out of the Rune Banish as well, the synergy between Nikki and Flambeau, and once again the handless dogs, they're not going down without a fight, but the pass splitter goes wide, an amazing evade by Asianator, and the defense holds for now.
They're getting set up in the top corner here, which is a simple clear there from Asianator. We'll keep it safe. Now Swaghaver working back up the field, but Weston up to Mr. Flambeau in the top corner. Midland not quite in position to make anything happen on that play, but they're keeping possession of the core quite well. A pass up to Mr. Flambeau. Here the Banish comes out. A great evade from Asianator to stay alive and keep the defense going. Pillar set up here, but Asianator will not be fooled to pass back up to Swaghaver. They get one barrier on the play and a KO on to Mr. Flambeau, and now it's the coveted power play here for Dynasty Party that they always perform so well on. Looking for the second barrier. A nice roll from Weston. And this pass splitter coming out from Nikki Midland as well. Will hold on as Mr. Flambeau comes back online, but energy is coming up all around, and a nice little demon angle there from Mr. Flambeau. And Asianator thought that there was going to be another banish coming out, so preemptively evaded, but Mr. Flambeau, the psychological warfare just didn't do anything, and Asianator got stuck in the animation. Well played.
Yeah, a little bit ambitious on the strike shot from Asianator, but had some amazing saves, but there's another KO coming out. Nikki getting it done once again, and that previous point, there was some fantastic defense from Asianator, but the problem was that Dynasty Party was permanently on defense at that point. If they're forced back all the way and Nikki and Flambeau can just get repeating passes from Weston, then they're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Nikki Midland, though, having to fall back a little bit there. Kind of low on HP, left it up to the Rune Pillars, but Asianator navigated them pretty well. Get the core back up to the forwards. A lot of damage here onto Swaghaver, but Jack Limestone pushing back up. Core flip comes out from Weston. They'll keep their barriers up for now. Pillar from Mr. Flambeau doesn't quite find anything here, but Nikki Midland and Swaghaver both pretty hurt. One barrier gone here. A second one picked up by Jack Limestone, and that's an open goal for handless dogs. Jack Limestone putting a lot of pressure onto the bottom, up to Swaghaver, but can't get it past Mr. Flambeau. Swaghaver jumping right back in there. 3v1, looking pretty hurt. Tempting the KO. They'll find it, but not paying attention to where Jack Limestone is. And that'll be another point here for Dynasty Party.
Yeah, Dynasty Party, get it done, and the damage really adds up, especially when you have a Juno and a Fanny in the backline helping that X with that chip damage. It really does add up, and although it's a lot harder to defend the barriers as the Fanny compared to the Dubu, if Asianator can keep the possession forward, that's huge, and the Slimes take a barrier despite the power play on the other end.
Core flip here from Asianator to buy a few more seconds as well. Pressure still coming on. The Dubu coming out in midfield, but they're struggling to bring down the second barrier. Now Swaghaver will come back online. Mr. Flambeau dribbling up in the midfield, trying to get back up to Nikki Midland. Gets it around the triple take, and that's an open goal on the side of Dynasty Party. Vanish coming out, gets Swaghaver caught in it. Now topped in the top corner. The pillar comes out, but Asianator able to rotate around to the bottom side. Jack Limestone is looking to push back up the field. The slimes will be blocked away by Nikki Midland. Now Swaghaver trying to get in position, but these creations making it a little bit difficult here Shot to the barrier, but it's just going to be blocked away in the 3v1. Can't get enough pressure going on there, and now it's 2 core flips as Handless Dogs pushbacks up. Mr. Flambeau's going to get blocked there, but Nicky Millen still holding onto one, but a nice bank off the wall. Perfectly angled from Mr. Flambeau. Will see Handless Dogs tie it up 2-2, and they don't even need to use the core flip.
Yeah, that core flip on Nicky Minowan is so scary. Definitely not many tools to deal with it at point blank here, especially when it's a fast one. Of course, the triple take a great tool at range, but so much damage dumped by Swaghaver and Asianator. Nicky's forced to burn the flip on death's door, honestly, and that's some really good focus from Dynasty Party to eliminate the threat.
Yeah, but now energy coming up here from Dynasty Party. A bit of a misplay, though, as they'll lose their second barrier, and some big pressure coming up. Mr. Flambeau to the bottom, but it's blocked by the triple take. Another card from Asianator almost scores an own goal, but he's luckily able to save that one. They do have some big damage onto the forwards of Handless Dogs here as Dynasty Party pushes back up, trying to get some barriers of their own. The slime from Jack Limestone picks up one. Swaghaver struggling to stay alive, but the goalie is looking really low here as well. Core flip from Jack Limestone puts the slime in, but the pillar from Mr. Flambeau is going to shut all of that down. Nicky Millen still looking really hurt. The triple take, but doesn't quite get the angle for the KO. Just sends Nicky up to the top side. It's a big finish looking for the pass to Swaghaver. Doesn't quite find it. Gets bounced around. The roll from Weston going to be what takes him off the board. A power play for Handless Dogs down to Mr. Flambeau. Back up to Nicky Millen. The pass splitter doesn't quite find contact. The slime's coming out, though, on the defense. They're looking for an angle, but they can't get it past this Finny and this Juno. And now Swaghaver will be coming right back to try and keep this point going for even longer.
Yeah, this is quite possibly the most important point of this Launchpad, of this qualifier season here. Who gets the lead first? The banish on the Asianator. He's evaded every other one so far, but Swaghaver, the second hit past the log now. And with the open net, big opportunity for Swaghaver on the dribbles past Weston's roll. Swaghaver, he's known for the dribbles, and he does it yet again to clutch out a point in which they were down the entire time.
Yeah, that was really nice defense, really nice stalling from Asianator and Jack Limestone to keep that alive for as long as they did. And of course, Swaghaver finding the shot, Brawlers getting it done, and now they are rewarded. Timeless Creator going to go here first to Jack Limestone. The double pick from Handless Dogs is going to be a Spark for Nicky and Glass Cannon on Weston. See the Siege Machine over to the Finny. Spark of Focus going over to the Rune. And Super Surge going to be the pickup for X with not a lot else to pick from. Kind of an interesting draft. There wasn't too much insane stuff there, but certainly some stuff that's pretty good.
Yeah, the overall power level of the draft was really low. I'd like to focus on that Timeless Creator as an example, right? It's normally not really that great on Juno, but it's picked up to deny away from the Dubu on an otherwise pretty, yeah, again, like a pretty unimpressive draft overall. Not much on the board, but if you're Dynasty Party, you're happy about that, right? You want to keep the status quo. You want to prevent this Rune and this Asher from becoming too much of a problem. And even though it's overall unimpressive, I think that Super Surge on the X gives you a lot more playmaking potential with the Bull Rush.
Yeah, especially highlighting that Timeless Creator thing. With how many creation characters are in this match right now, how many characters benefit from that, I think Dynasty Party kind of securing those is definitely going to help them out in the long run. We don't want to see Dubu or Asher stacking up a Rune, stacking up creation things, and that end up being a kind of a win con. So definitely nice to see that there, but some damage now coming out onto Mr. Flambeau, and the big Super Surge dash through the center. Already that pick coming in big there for Swaghaver to pick up the KO from the other side of the map. Core flip here brings down the second barrier, and now core flip still available for Jack Limestone. They're trying to operate on this power play. Asianator up to Jack Limestone. Not able to get it past the center, though. Bounces weirdly, but they'll get to Swaghaver eventually, who finds the angle, and Dynasty Party get it done.
Yeah, a bit scary there on that Jack Limestone angle. I thought it was going right into Mr. Flambeau's hands for a gifted point to the Handless Dogs, but in the end, it was a great pass forward eventually to Swaghaver. And that's, again, a common theme, right? If Swaghaver can just stay forward confidently and have Jack Limestone and Asianator find those big passes to 1v1 Weston, Swaghaver has been winning those situations more often than not, and the power play only helps out.
Oh, a double power play as Dynasty Party just, they don't know how to not KO it seems like. Getting another double here. They're gonna try and get the barriers. They'll pick up one. Bellringer coming out, trying to get the second one. They'll get that one as well. Now Aginator up in the midfield to pass back in. A banish onto Jack Limestone. Holding on to that flip, looking for a spot to use it. Use it there, I think, just to stay alive. But now Handless Dogs pushing back up. Interesting bounce off the center there. Midland, though, in the 1v3. Not quite able to get the core very far here. Aginator still maintaining pretty solid composure. Gets it back up to Swaghaver. Now pops the X Maximus. Doesn't quite able to reach the core, though. And now we go into overtime, where Nicky Midland's going to be able to pick up the first barrier here for Handless Dogs. Brings out the pass splitter. A pass down to Mr. Flambeau. Can't do much with all the slimes and the big finish in the way. Now a core flip available for Swaghaver here in the bottom side. Aginator just trying to get it back over to him. Dribble off the top, looking for the bottom. A pillar getting placed in the way. And that barrier still remaining up. Aginator now to Jack Limestone. There's the core flip into the bull rush, but the roll from West doesn't matter. Swaghaver the insta strike before the soup can even touch it. And Dynasty Party on set point.
Bad habits biting Weston really hard there. It wasn't just a Topi Fortress, it was a strike forward and then Topi Fortress. And it went right into Swaghaver's waiting arms. That slight inexperience coming in a high pressure situation. And I think Dynasty Party, they're the team with more experience in those situations. I think Aginator is going to crack a lot less easily in panic moments like that.
Yeah, there was just enough time there for Swaghaver to sneak it on through. And yeah, it's definitely going to show a big double barrier. Oh, what a great shot placement there from Swaghaver. We're kind of glazing this guy this match, but he's playing pretty well. They'll get the KO onto the goalie as well. Core flip's got to come out there from Nicky Midland, but forced up to the top side and totally zoned out. It's just another point for Dynasty Party as they are just taking this game over right now.
And Swaghaver's the big factor. Usually in a game with Nicky Midland as the brawler, they're the star player, but here Swaghaver just on another level. The core control, the possession keeping is making it so difficult for Handless Dogs to even get any sort of offensive push going. And with that additional size, it's going to be even easier for Swaghaver. And denying away to Stagger Swagger is going to mean that Nicky's always going to be damaged. And this is a really, really scary spot to be in if you're the Handless Dogs. Your overall awakening power level is incredibly low right now. And you have to get a set win in a state where Dynasty Party are favored so much. If the Handless Dogs somehow win this set, they're in a decent spot, but winning this set is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, they got the double spark on Nicky, and they got the Monu on Rune that they're trying to play around, and we'll see if that's enough to maybe compensate and help out on the defense. Maybe there's some kind of win condition there, but with the momentum the Dynasty Party have, it's definitely not going to be easy for them to bring this one back, though. We'll see. Energy is coming up pretty early on here for Dynasty Party. Swaghaver already is almost at a core flip available with how many hits he's been getting. But so far, no barriers getting taken at all by anyone. The slime's coming out, but stuck in the banish. Another big super surge dash through the middle allows Swaghaver to just reposition from side to side so easily. He's absolutely huge. Goes for the flip and gets the KO, but a bit of an own barrier off of the soup in return. But the power play here for Dynasty Parties, what they're always looking for, see if they can get some kind of value, but getting in their own way a little bit there. The triple take in the way. Swaghaver taking a lot of damage. They're not quite able to get too much done off of that power play. There's the recovery drone proc, and now that's gone from Swaghaver. And so far, Handless Dogs looking a little bit more composed.
Definitely holding on. Aginator with the panic flip, and now Nicky in the corner. That's where you want to be as the Asher, but Aginator, despite that earlier barrier going down, still staying very calm, but hard to stay calm when the core speed off the pillars that fast. Nicky with an amazing shot placement, and Aginator caught without any cooldowns left.
Yeah, I think that was an auto slime that just shot it straight at the rune pillar, and it just propelled it right back into the hands of Nicky Midland. As you said, made a really nice shot there. A single banish coming out. They looked for the KO on Swaghaver, weren't quite able to find it. Now some big pressure coming out, but in the 1v2, Handless Dogs hold on to their barrier. Mr. Flambeau going for the double, but Aginator was prepared for that one. A nice clear just barely eking it through the forwards. Now pass splitter coming out, and that's going to be one barrier gone. A double banish now coming out. There's the pillar set up in the top corner. All three members of Dynasty Party trying to hold on the barrier beam, but it's not enough as Jack Limestone going to burn the flip on the defense. Now Mr. Flambeau flip in return to send it back around, but it just goes right back to Weston, who's stuck in this bottom corner yet again, but they pick up the KO onto Swaghaver, and now it's a much-needed power play here for Handless Dogs. Slime's coming out. There's the banish, but a nice evade from Jack Limestone. Nice stalling, just buying so much time with these slimes. That allows Swaghaver to come back online here. Now it's one barrier to one barrier. Everyone's alive again.
Yeah, but Swaghaver's chasing here. Flambeau gets out of there just in time. Well played, and the course speed's accelerating all around the map. Flip burn from Weston will earn the barrier, threads the needle, but Weston's down in a lot of trouble, but Swaghaver can't get it past, and an amazing shot from Nikki to the bottom corner, despite being staggered. Gets the point, and if the Handless Dogs can get this final point, bring us to another set, I think they're finally in a good spot.
That was the same exact shot that Nikki did as the previous point as well, standing in the same spot with the same spot in the net. But yeah, I think the Monumentalist and the speed on Nikki are definitely helping out quite a lot here. The Monumentalist is really messing up some of the slime angles, and it's just taking up so much space on the map that Dynasty Party is really limited in how they can like actually get around here. And as long as they're holding out on defense, it seems like they're eventually able to accumulate enough damage to take Swaghaver off the board. So we'll see if they can just keep that up, or if Dynasty Party are going to find a way to answer and get their momentum back. But in a very similar situation right here, top barrier to bottom barrier, double to banish coming out here from Mr. Flambeau, though. They're not going to get any KOs, but they just buy even more time. And so often we're just seeing Jack Limestone and Aginator stuck with the core on their side of the field, and they're just not able to get it past the rune pillars here. And eventually, Nikki's able to push up and make something like that happen.
Yeah, but that's a KO onto Flambeau, but Nikki has possession. Watch out. Good triple take, and Swaghaver so much core speed here. One good pass is the end of this point, but it's a snipe from Aginator to the bottom corner. And wow, what a way to really start the comeback here. But it's going to take quite a bit, right? Dynasty Party need a lot more than just that.
Yeah. It's weird considering how dominant they were looking last set. Now they're kind of on the back foot in this set, at least. Swaghaver able to survive the double pillar there, and once again trading the single barriers. Now trying to push back up the field, but that pillar is just in the way. Swaghaver cannot dribble up the field with that. All that noise. We have a core flip available here for Jack Limestone. They can get it past Nikki Minlin. So far, the pressure staying on. The banish coming out. Two pillars set up here. Core flip here from Jack Limestone. Defensively, the barrier goes down to a core flip from Nikki into the pass splitter. And they'll just be stuffing it right in. Handless Dogs bringing it back in the game. Winning that set 3-1. Nikki Minlin, the MVP. There's still a spark available. But there's also a couple other nice things here. So we'll have to see how this draft goes. It could be really important.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the spark. It's 3 sparks. Resilience, power, and agility. So much speed, so much power. It is really, really important that Nikki got MVP here, and that turns the entire game around. Of course, extra special denying away that from the Dubu is important, but it is no longer looking as nice for Dynasty Party. Last set is the best they were going to get, and now it's only going to get more favorable for the Dogs from here.
Yeah, definitely. And we see more size go over to Swaghaver, but the Might of the Colossus falling over to Weston, it's still good, but it's definitely less valuable with how Nikki Minlin is basically on Exodia mode. And now Swaghaver just kind of has like a bigger hitbox as well for some of those edge KOs, the banish into pillar, things that don't necessarily care about getting too much damage in terms of stagger. So we'll see if that's going to make too much of a difference at all. But yeah, I think it's right now, all eyes are kind of on Nikki Minlin and this triple spark.
Oh, wow. Nikki versus 3, the pass splitter into primary. If Swaghaver was the MVP of the early sets, Nikki Minlin is taking over the later sets here, fully scaled up, everything that they need to really just control the game.
Yeah, and with perfect form as well. I mean, you don't have the cooldown spark, but who needs that, right? So, Handless Dogs now making this a real contest. 2 flips available here for Dynasty Party, but so much damage onto Swag Average, getting knocked around. There's the pillar for the KO. That resets the recovery drone. And now a double banish coming out from Mr. Flambeau. They'll get 1 barrier off of the play. And they're just dumping out damage on Swag Average yet again. He's got no energy, running out of health, has to get the orb. And now in the 1v3, he's going to take even more chip damage here. Able to pick up an orb, but Jack Limestone putting the pressure on the top side. Oh, Swag Ever looking for the KO on Mr. Flambeau, but they get caught out by the Dubu Soup instead. And now it's a power play for Handless Dog. The banish coming out. Nice evade from Asianator, but got to catch up to the core. Favorable bounce keeps it alive for now. And now Swag Haver is back online. Looking for the Bell Ringer's going to find the second barrier. Goes into X Maximus, chasing down the core, but can't quite reach it. Core flip available on Nikki Minlin, but Swag Haver with possession, and Jack Limestone with the slime, able to sink it right through Mr. Flambeau. A nice redirect, and Dynasty Party will tie it up here in set 4.
Yeah, don't let Nikki Minuin's build distract you from the fact that Swag Haver takes up the entire map, the strike range, the Bell Ringer range. So much coverage available. If you slip up once, he will be there to just get the core and find those barriers. But the main threat is being KO'd here. Nikki will punish that greedy flip near the edge.
Yeah, it's just what you gotta be so careful about. Like, you're so big, those edge KOs are a lot easier to get, especially when you have all that extra power that Nikki has as well. Rune Pillar giving them a little bit of trouble right here, but Swag Haver will be back online with no barriers lost, so they'll play it out pretty solidly. As we go back to a little bit of a battle here over the midfield. Jack Limestone up to Swag Haver, gets 1 barrier, is looking for a second one. Weston makes the clear. Nice catch from Asianator, but now trapped in the corner with the pass splitter. Both forwards coming up, but solid defense from Dynasty Party keeps it held down. Core flip here from Mr. Flambeau. Doesn't get it very far. They'll try again on the top side to banish onto Asianator, but the clear has been made, and Swag Haver casually flying across the map, getting launched. And Nikki Minlin hunting him down, sending him into the back of the goal box. And now another power play here for Handless Dogs. They try to bring down some barriers finally. Bit of ping pong here in the bottom corner, but Nikki Minlin pushing up with the barrier beam, gets the second barrier, or the first barrier rather. And has a flip available. What? The core sneaking through the little gap in the Dubu wall. Average Dubu moment. And now Nikki Minlin can take it off the map. Dynasty Party suddenly taking over in this point. A pass down to Jack Limestone, passing around, trying to get around this Rune Pillar. Mr. Flambeau looking low. Has to spend the last of the energy just to survive. Nikki Minlin, though, coming back online, but that was a crazy sequence of events.
Yeah, Swag Haver now low, but the Slimes catch it near the center drum. Flambeau not there to cover. Weston trying to cover the top side. The core speed getting ridiculous. The bounce below the Tofu Fortress getting even more ridiculous. And Dynasty Party, this is their last good shot at it, and they're 1 goal away.
Yeah, they got to make this happen here. If this goes to a set 5, it could really be pushing their luck. Core flip here from Asianator to get it back up the field. Not quite able to do much with it, but Nikki Minlin able to bring down the second barrier. 2-0 in favor of Handless Dogs. The pillar gets set up. They're looking for some offense here. Swag Haver and Jack Limestone, have their core flips available here. They'll get 1 barrier off of the push. Trying to find a second one now. Jack Limestone dribbling with the core in the middle. Sends it back up. They're trying to get to Swag Haver, but Swag Haver just can't reach it. Core flip getting burnt here from Jack Limestone, but all the creations from Handless Dogs just shutting that down entirely. Nikki Minlin looking for the KO, doesn't quite find it. And Swag Haver step with the big finish. No, send it backwards. Oh, it was still in core flip. Wait. Mr. Flambeau flipped that, and it was still in Mr. Flambeau's core flip, like the state while it was spinning in the big finish. And it got sent backwards. That was crazy.
That was absolutely ridiculous here. And Nikki Minlin has a flip available. Try and take the barrier here. Big opportunity with the pillar, but Jack Limestone with the Slimes makes the save. And having that barrier alive is so important for Dynasty Party's defense here. Asianator is going to be able to hold on for a little while longer, it feels like, and Swag Haver low. But if Swag Haver can survive here, that could be the barriers taken quite efficiently. Mr. Flambeau almost going down.
3-1 here, though. Swag Haver is getting absolutely pummeled. Core flip from Mr. Flambeau. Core flip from Asianator in return. Sends it back around the way. Nikki Minlin trying to force it through the 1v3. Mr. Flambeau now pushing it back up. Not able to find too much here. They're going to try again on the bottom corner. The log able to send it back in, but Asianator making the clear back to the midfield. Swag Haver's going to pop the X Maximus. Hunting for some barriers here. The big finish to try and help, but Weston still holding it down. Keep it going. There's the triple take, and Swag Haver able to pick up one. Jack Limestone looking for the second one. Jeff Flambo's going to block the first shot. The banish coming out onto Swag Haver. Will stay alive, though, as we head into overtime. And now Handless Dogs pushing back in the top side. Asianator barely making the save. Gets it back to Swag Haver. Tries to force it through, but the Dubu in the way. Core flip here from Jack Limestone. Gets KO'd for it. Core flip from Nicky Minlin. Sends it back around to the power play from Handless Dogs. But Swag Haver trying to hold this top lane so hard, but another own barrier from Asianator off the card. The banish comes out, a great evade, holds it in the big finish, and Jack Limestone back online. The slime to try and pass it back up to Swag Haver. Core flip here, angles it off the bottom side. What a shot for the barrier. Now it's both sides opened up here on point 5. Weston dribbling it into the slime, though, manages to hold on. Asianator brings it back to the top side. The pillar getting placed. Nicky going for the center, but it will get blocked away. Now the soup coming out in the midfield. He gets to the top side. Swag Haver off the middle. Almost own goals it, but we're all good. Gets banished. Gets them through the middle. Big finish coming out against the pillar, though. Sends it back around. Another pillar coming out, but it's just time. Asianator's in a good spot here. Off the center. Jack Limestone up to Swag Haver. Trying to force it through, but the core moving a little bit too fast for anyone to push up comfortably. But to the slime. Jack Limestone. The perfect angle. Asianator. That was a perfect pass through the middle to the slime for the point. Out of absolutely left. Dynasty Party will clutch it up and win.
What a performance in the very end when Nicky Minlin was fully scaled, when Mr. Flambeau's pillars were so scary and Weston was holding it down. It was Jack Limestone, Asianator, and Swag Haver on top. They will be able to contest for NASA and NASL. Unfortunately, the Handless Dogs, their ceiling this season will be nasty if they make it through the last chance qualifier. Well played to Dynasty Party.
Yeah, well played indeed. Definitely a solid performance there, a solid game. Wish them the best of luck. Moving on to Liftoff, but I think we have one more game for the day. Woe Chills versus E-Boy Entourage. That's going to be coming up next, so we're going to throw it to a bit of a break before that one, so stick around.